And I thought this was a legitimate career path. Like, you go to a place, and they give you the jacket and the hat, and if you do a really good job of finding treasure and beating up bad guys, then you get to make out with Karen Allen. And that was the most appealing part of the job to me. So I was a little disappointed when I was told that as a little girl in the Midwest, my two options were get married and have kids, or get a job, work for the same company for my whole life until I retired. None of that appealed to me, but being a good Midwestern kid, I fell in line and put my head down, and by the time I was in my mid-20s, I was doing everything I was supposed to do. I was living in Chicago, I was working as an investment banker, making six figures, and I was practically married to a man named Tom who wanted to have a bunch of kids. And I was absolutely dead inside. And I was filled with this shame because I was doing everything I was supposed to do. I had the things that I was told I was supposed to want, and I was miserable. And all I could do was go to work, come home, and drink and cry. So fortunately, a couple things changed all at once for the better. I broke up with Tom, and when we were breaking up, he said to me, you know, when you drink and you come home at night, you talk a lot about eating pussy, and I think that you should try it because it's awesome. So I came out with Tom's blessing, and the opportunity to move to Southern California. And this was great. I moved to Long Beach, where my whole world changed. I started meeting all these people from all different walks of life. Up till that point, I had been a theoretical gay, and I started to put that theory into practice with some pretty promising results. And I started to meet these big, burly men with beards who also happened to have vaginas. And I saw myself in these guys. And so I was going through this whole just awakening of all these different parts of my personality that were always there, but I never had words for. Now, work was a different story. I was working in Irvine, which I came to find out very quickly is its own little microclimate of conservatism, and I was working with people who were not at all shy about expressing their opinions. And so I learned pretty quickly to just kind of leave, you know, my personal life the way that it was and keep my head down, just like I'd done as a little kid. Just keep your head down, do what you're supposed to do. But it was a really uncomfortable environment to work in. And they really started to go berserk when Caitlyn Jenner was in the news a lot. And she got in a car wreck, and my boss lost it. He was like, where are you going to put Bruce Jenner in jail? You can't put him in the men's prison or the women's prison. This is just ridiculous. And I thought, it is ridiculous. It's ridiculous that I come here every day and I work for you guys and I make you a lot of money and you don't believe in my right to exist. So I was unhappy at work, but I didn't know what else to do. I came from a background where you don't leave a good job, and you certainly don't leave a job without another one lined up. I had no idea what else I wanted to do, so I decided one day I'm just going to take the day off, and I'm going to go do something cool. And I decided I was going to go climb Mount Baldy. And Mount Baldy is the highest peak in LA County, if you're not familiar, and it has a reputation for being kind of dangerous because people go up there and it's kind of unassuming because it's so close to LA. They go up there unprepared, and especially in the winter, they get themselves into trouble. But even experienced hikers with lots of summits under their belt have lost their lives up there. And it's got this one part on the hike that's called the Devil's Backbone, which is exactly what it sounds like. And this is what I had set my sights on. I think mainly because I have an insane fear of heights. The Devil's Backbone is about 3 feet wide, and it's got sheer drop-offs on either side. And I was telling myself that if I could just go up and make it across the Devil's Backbone, some path was going to reveal itself. I think I was confusing my real human life with Indiana Jones, and I thought it's like that scene in Last Crusade where he jumps off the cliff and a path reveals reveals itself. So, not having any winter hiking experience, never having been up on Mount Baldy, I needed to prepare thoroughly. So I went on Instagram and hashtag Mount Baldy, and I saw a picture of a guy in his sneakers at the summit the day before, and I was like, great, that's good enough for me. If that guy can make it, I'm good to go. So a couple things to note: I didn't check the weather. I didn't tell anybody where I was going, and it was a Friday in the middle of January, and nobody else was on the mountain. So I got to the mountain the next day. It was a beautiful sunny day. The beginning of the hike is really easy. It's a nice wide fire road, and nothing really remarkable. But in the back of my head is this thing of the devil's backbone, the devil's backbone. Finally I get up there, and it is terrifying, and it's everything I hoped for. It's snowy and icy, and the wind's picking up a little bit. And I mentioned my healthy fear of heights. What happens usually is when I get in a place with drop-offs like that, I freeze. And so what I found over the years is, in order to keep from freezing, the best thing that I can do is sing. So I grab my poles, and I look straight ahead, and I take the first step. And I'm like, do-a-diddy-diddy-dum, there she was, just a-walking down the street, and I am sweating, and I am shaking, and I am scared as hell, but I keep going. And every time like a little breeze comes, I just sing louder. I'm her, she's mine, wedding bells are gonna shine. Finally, I make it across the backbone. I fall down on my knees, and I'm just waiting for this revelation that's gonna be bestowed on me. There's nothing. So I decided, well, maybe it's at the summit. Maybe I'm just supposed to keep going. So I keep going. The next mile or so of the hike to the summit goes around what's called the Baldy Bowl. And it's pretty much shielded from the elements, very sunny. And I'm skipping along like one of the Von Trapp kids. And all of a sudden, this gust of wind hits me and just knocks me over. And I'm totally taken aback. I'm like, this guy was up here yesterday in sneakers. Like, it's got to be okay to be up here. The wind's so strong, like I can barely stand up. Like I've never been in the mountains in the winter before, so I think like maybe this is just part of it. I'm like, I can't. If that guy was up here and he did it, I have to do it. Like I can't not do it if he did it. So I'm behind this boulder that I made my way to, and I'm kind of like getting myself situated and composed and trying to figure out what I'm going to do next. And I knock loose this like suitcase-sized chunk of ice and snow, and the wind just picks it up and turns it into powder off the back of the mountain. I'm like, okay, that guy can win, I'm going home. So I turn around, and as I'm making my way back down the mountain, I'm a little crestfallen that I didn't make it to the summit. I'm super bummed that there was no great revelation that I found up on this mountain. But I was just happy to be alive. And I got home that night and I checked the weather. Now I check the weather. And I found out that the wind had been gusting to 50 miles an hour that day, and I had no business being up there. This is a Friday, so I slept all weekend, and on Monday, I was sitting at my desk, and I just kind of watched myself get up, and I walked into my boss's office, and I said, I think I want to try something else. He said, what did you have in mind? I said, I was thinking about long-haul trucking. And he said, this is a bank, we don't do that here. And I said, I know, I can give you 2 more weeks. I walked out of his office and I was instantly relieved. Even though all this programming that I had been taught my whole life of, you don't quit a job until you know what else you're going to do. You work for the almighty company your whole life. Despite all of that, I still didn't know what I wanted to do. But I did know that I wasn't going to spend another second of my life making money for people who didn't believe in my right to exist. And that for me, the answer to the question, what do you want to be when you grow up, was going to be a lifelong process of elimination. Thank you.